Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles. She's sitting this video out. She's not feeling too well today, but you're stuck with me. That's okay. She'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, and AI art. And the reason we're going to talk about these things is that Wizards of the Coast just advertised a position, I guess it was about a week ago, for a principal AI engineer. So all this talk about how we're not going to use AI and they keep getting busted again and again and again. It's all for naught. It's all for naught. And we knew this was going to happen. In fact, the CEO of Wizards of the Coast said that they were going to use AI to exploit their IP, exploit Dungeons and Dragons. And I have to give a hat tip to Michael Hovermail, who tweeted this the other day. I missed it. We were kind of busy this weekend, but yeah, so it's making the rounds and everybody's talking about it because they're like, God, just pick a lane, Wizards. Either you're against AI art or you're not. And the truth is, they're definitely not. Again, their CEO comes from Microsoft, the disgraced, short-lived boss of Wizards of the Coast. She got fired, right? But Chris Cox, who is also from Microsoft, is all about it. You know, they're both from Microsoft, right? Cynthia Williams was her name. She was kind of in and out. She screwed everything up. They had that OGL debacle because they're looking for ways to monetize D&D. And she tried to turn it into a lifestyle brand. They're selling like D&D purses and pumps and dresses and, you know, whatever. And people were roasting them fiercely for that. And here we are. Now we're back to AI art. And remember, this is, again, the same company that, was a year ago, 2 years ago, called the Pinkertons in to go to some guy's house and shake him down because he got a box of Magic cards like a week early. I mean, this company has lost the plot. And you don't need I'm going to be honest, you don't need their products. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to defend everything that Wizards does, but you really don't need their products. I mean, as long as you've got your old manuals from back in the day, you don't need to buy anything new. And frankly, I don't like the new stuff anyway. I mean, we'll see what 1 D&D is like, but I'm expecting more 5e. I'm expecting it to be more of the same. And that's just not my thing, man. It's not my thing. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, if you want to support our endeavors, go out to Indiegogo. We're having a second chance offer for Shadowbinders Volume 3. We're also going to try to reprint books 1 and 2. And we're looking for a little help for that. But if you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like fantasy, you might like Shadowbinders. It's steampunk and fantasy and magic and humor. And we got some monsters. And yeah, we're producing the first new Shadowbinders content in like 10 years. So check it out on Indiegogo. Let's see. Let's go out to PC Gamer first, and then we'll talk about the Twitter reaction to this. Now, remember, Wizards of the Coast, they got busted multiple times using AI art, both on, I believe, cards and in advertisements, and then they denied that they were doing it. And I think that's the problem. They didn't own it, because they know what their audience is like now. The audience they've courted right now is very, very much against AI, NFTs, anything like that. They denied, oh, that's not AI art. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it is. But we didn't use AI for everything. Just, the concept stage. Okay, the final art's AI too. Oh, it was a contractor. We didn't know what they're doing. Oh, this person. Oh, we hired a person that said that they're an AI artist and their whole profile's about AI art. And then they turned in AI art and we were shocked. Oh, my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So look, guys, this is how it's going to be going forward. Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, cash-strapped Hasbro is going to do whatever they can do to make a buck. And, if it means cranking out more Magic cards using AI art, they'll probably do it, as long as they don't get caught, right? So this is coming from PC Gamer. D&D's Wizards of the Coast comes under fire again for AI after advertising for a principal AI engineer, but insists our stance on AI hasn't changed since video games don't count. The old loophole. This comes from PC Gamer. Back in August of last year, D&D's owners Wizards of the Coast came under harsh scrutiny for accidentally working in AI imagery into its at the time upcoming book Bigby Presents The Glory of Giants, a backlash so dramatic it saw the company swear off using generative AI for source books and materials. In theory, back in January, the official Magic the Gathering account, a property also owned by WotC, posted AI-generated art, insisting it wasn't AI art, and then admitted it was indeed AI art. That inclusion was a mistake. Then, in an interview with VentureBeat during the 27th annual DICE Awards, how embarrassing, Hasbro, who owns WotC, their CEO Chris Cox said that while the company couldn't be very cavalier in how we think about AI, it was nonetheless exciting. And he said, D&D has 50 years of content. We can mine literally thousands of adventures that we've created, probably tens of millions of words that we own and can leverage. Sounds just like Bob Iger. Like we have all this IP we can just strip mine for profit. Magic the Gathering has been around for 35 years, more than 15,000 cards we can use in something like that. Now, Wizards of the Coast has a principal AI engineer job listing on its website. WotC is once again moving forward with their AI plans, writes a now formerly D&D creator, Spicy Encounters on Twitter, adding, we fixed their game, expand its horizons, and make it popular. And yet Wizards is either willing to abide by or unable to stop those who would replace us with bots. Let's check out this tweet. Pip the Spicy. Used to sell 5e books. Now I'm playing and creating for Pathfinder. Well, there you go. I'm glad Pip the Spicy is still working in gaming. Yeah, WotC is once again moving forward with their AI plans, and frankly, it's time. I've closed my D&D 5e shop. I will never create or sell a 5e product again. So is this person working for or worked for Wizards? I don't know. If you make D&D content, please read the thread below. I hope you all join me. Anything but D&D. That is a hashtag. Damn. What makes D&D the most popular tabletop RPG in the world is not the core game or the sheer size of the player base, but the content creators who constantly crank out content that's better than first-party content. In recent years, that has been true. That wasn't always the case. It used to be, TSR was actually pretty good at cranking out, original ideas. But everything that TSR did is now considered problematic by WotC. I've literally never seen a table that doesn't have third-party content, says Pip. Every podcast is free advertisement for them. Every third-party book sold is free content for them. We fix their game, expand its horizons, make it popular, and yet Wizards is either willing to abide by or unable to stop those who would replace us with bots. It's about profit, Pip. It's about the profit. It's about the bottom line. Didn't you get the memo? That's all they care about. And I told people this years ago. I said, even all these DEI inclusion talking points, it's not because they actually care. It's because this is how they're going to get money from investors. They're going to hide all that talk of their diversity and their inclusion, and we're not going to be racist, and we're not going to do this, and we're not going to do that. That actually bordered on being ridiculous. It was all cover for this shit. I told people, God, we got so much hate from Dungeons and Dragons defenders, Magic defenders a couple of years ago. But hashtag Clownfish was right. We were right. This is what they're doing. We can't trust the player base alone. This is the way of the market. They just want content. Why should they care who made it? Yeah, it's true. They don't. May care when it was some stranger on the internet. We'll probably never convince the millions who play it to stop. No, they won't. They won't. So there's a hashtag, anything but D&D. This is so damn frustrating, writes Nala Wu, an indie art director and illustrator in the TTRPG space. I've defended WotC, I don't know how many times, because I was made promises to my face by the art directors at this company that it would never happen. Man, does this feel like a slap in the face. Okay. This has happened to us with WotC. This has happened with Disney. We were just early to the party, right? Like we were saying, hey, Disney is not quite the company it used to be, guys. Now we've got former Disney brand ambassadors and influencers agreeing with us and saying, no, this company's really cheaping out and they don't really care about anything other than profit. I'm like, oh my God, if only someone told you several years ago that that was the case. But you want to believe it. And that's the thing. People have these relationships with these companies and these brands because it means something to them. And actually, here's the scary truth, the scary reality of all of it. your fandom is more important to you. The brand is more important to you than it is emotionally to the company that owns it. That's why fans get so upset about things. That's why they defend these companies. And a lot of times blindly defend these companies because that brand means something to them because they have a lot of good memories associated with that brand. But we always have the memories, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, I have really good memories of going to Disney parks. I have really good memories of reading Marvel comics. I have really good memories of playing with my Star Wars action figures. I have fantastic memories of playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I'll always have those memories, right? But the companies that created those things, they're not the same, or they're not even the same company. And this is what's so frustrating about it, because every time a company sells its IP to one of these corporations, this is exactly what happens. Speaking to Comic Book Gaming's Christian Hoffer, however, going back to the article, PC Gamer, Wizards has some words of comfort to offer, kinda, if you squint at them right. Our stance on AI hasn't changed. This job description is for a role for future video game projects. Yeah, because Larian even abandoned them. Larian's like, we don't want anything to do with you, Wizards. We don't want anything to do with you, Hasbro. We require artists, writers, and creatives contributing to Magic and DND to refrain from using AI generative tools to create final Magic or D&D products. So again, if you squint, so technically somebody could paint over or draw over or manipulate an AI image and say, oh yeah, this is original art. You know, we're just going to trace it. We're going to have AI generate it. We're going to trace it. You're going to know because, that elf warrior, yeah, she's got like 9 fingers. So the official company line presently being towed is, it's fine. It's video games. Video games don't count. It's like a cheat day on your diet. According to WotC, the principal AI engineer should design, build, and deploy systems for intelligent generation of text, dialogue, audio, art assets, NPC behavior, and real-time bot frameworks. Now, this is going to be normal in video games, especially RPGs. Because, I mean, we're going to have NPC characters that can basically, I guess, think. I don't know if they're actually thinking, but they can react in real time. It's not going to be like the old Final Fantasy games where they say the same thing over and over again until you complete the fetch quest, and then they say like 1 or 2 new lines of dialogue. It should be noted that these responsibilities can be read in a few different ways. Generative AI, distinct from the AI we're more used to in video games, is definitely involved. But in order to develop systems for NPC behavior, there it is, you have to be experienced in making those things. AI is going to be used in video games. It likely won't be used in the ways that big tech idea heads would like you to believe. I don't think we need neo NPCs. This is coming from PC Gamer. I feel like WotC wants to have its cake and eat it too. Hasbro wants D&D to be this multimedia megastar franchise after the success of Baldur's Gate 3. However, the use of AI art in TTRPGs is even more unpopular than it is in video games. The source book doesn't need that much art when compared to the baffling scope of a AAA game, for example. WotC wants to make video games really bad. Well, here's the thing. They're not in a good place right now because they were trying to turn D&D into like a Marvel, right? A lot of their product is being clearanced out. Even their game products. Like, I never thought I would see a Dragonlance game on clearance. $100 Dragonlance game, $10 at Ollie's. The action figures, $5, $7. Nobody wants the stuff. The movie was a failure at the box office. Again, 2 things can be true. I think the movie was good. I actually did enjoy Honor Among Thieves, but it also was a failure at the box office. Just like Furiosa. A lot of people said Furiosa is a good movie, but it was also a box office failure. We can say these things, right? We're adults. We can understand that 2 things can be true at once, right? And one doesn't necessarily correlate with the other. And they made a lot of mistakes. And the movie came out, during the OGL debacle, and the way they marketed the movie was tone deaf. And we had the producers running at the mouth about how they were going to get rid of toxic masculinity in the movie and all this other bullshit that turned out to not even be an issue at all in the movie, right? The movie itself was fine. Just put the damn movie out. But Paramount, they canceled their show. They were going to do a live action series, and they canceled it due to creative differences. I think they looked at it and they're like, yeah, this is going to be a money losing disaster. And I think without Larian, I think their video game efforts are going to be a money-losing disaster. Hasbro can't make video games. They're not good at making video games. They've tried several occasions. On several occasions, Hasbro has tried to make video games. I remember they were making like, I think they made Monopoly themselves. Now, Monopoly Go did good, so they're going to just double down on that. But they made, back in the day, they made the Monopoly game. I think they made Frogger. They did an update on Frogger or something. They had like Hasbro Interactive. Something about them doing a G.I. Joe game that never materialized. I don't know. I mean, the best Transformers games were Activision's. They were amazing. Devastation was fantastic, but they just don't know what they're doing. This guy here, John, is the lead 2D artist on Hearthstone. And he says, so much for require artists, writers, and creatives contributing to Magic to refrain from using AI. Lots of people, quote, retweeted him. Let's look at some of these. Another reminder, Bonnie says, to be wary and aware of things like this happening when looking into work, whether it's art or voice acting or whatever. Creativity is a waste product in the hyper-real civilization, and wizards are gladly transforming their games into automated waste treatment plants. Wow. Fuck this AI shit. Fuck this AI shit. Yeah, this generative AI artwork trend will blow up in the faces of the execs that try to push it through. I believe it will. I think it will. But, I mean, AI is going to be used in some capacity, but I think at this point we don't really know to what extent it should be used. Everybody's just looking at it as like, wow, we can just print more money because we can do more with less. We don't need those pesky creatives that ask for money and cause us problems on social media. We can just bypass them and just crank out art because consumers are stupid and they'll just buy anything. And the reality is, and I hate to be that guy, but the reality is some of them will. You know, some of them, they don't care where it comes from. They don't care where it comes from. Just does it look cool? Yeah, that's all they're going to care about. And that's the unfortunate truth. But here we are, guys. This is your diverse and inclusive, progressive Wizards of the Coast once again stepping in it. It's like they step on that rake every other month. I swear to God. And piss off to those of you who got in my face about defending Wizards when I started sounding the alarms on this company, like something's not right with Wizards. It's not right. Whatever. Hashtag Clownfish was right. We usually are. Not always, but we usually are. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.